three types of salsas today, and we're starting off by making a salsa verde. And so the base of a salsa verde uses what we call tomatillos, and some of you may never have seen these before, but they actually have a paper husk on them, which we already removed. And we're going to fire roast most of our ingredients. So we're fire roasting our tomatillos. We're going to fire roast our poblano chilies, and you may not be familiar with these either. If you've ever had chili rellenos, these are the types of chilies that are used. They can be roasted, seeded, and then stuffed with cheese or ground meat. They're delicious, and usually they're egg battered. And we're going to add some jalapeno peppers, which can vary in heat. Some of them are on the mild or the medium side. Some of them can be really hot, so it's always luck of the draw. We're also going to be putting some garlic in there, but we're keeping our garlic in the paper shell. So we're going to start off. If you guys want to come up here, we're going to leave our peppers whole because right now we're just putting it in the oven. We're going to char it. We're going to get it nice, and we're going to get them black actually. So we're going to have our poblanos are going on there, jalapenos going in whole, and these peppers actually we're going to cut them in half. So we're just going to put them cut side down, cut them all in half.
Now these are considered.
And then we could put the garlic. Are they considered what?
Peppers?
I think they are in their own family, and I have to, yeah, I did. They have a little bit of a sticky texture. They have a lot of natural pectin in them, so you're going to find when you make this type of salsa, when it's been refrigerated, it's going to kind of get a little bit of a gelatinous texture to it, and you can just stir it up a little bit, but it keeps it nice and thick, so it really stands up well to, you know, your chip when you dip it. So we're going to throw all of this in a broiler. Like I said, we're going to get it nice and hot, and then when it comes out of the oven, we're going to put it in our food processor. But in the meanwhile, we're going to prep a couple of other ingredients, but we'll get to that in a minute. Almost done here with our tomatillos. And I would say roughly about a pound and a half of tomatillos will usually be an appropriate amount for one batch. Again, we have two of each type of pepper. Plus our tomatillos. Let me get these. These are pretty easy to work with. Not too difficult. We're also going to be making tortilla chips today. People don't realize how easy they are to make. You know, we buy our bag of Tostitos and call it a day, but actually making them at home, they taste just like the ones you get at your Mexican restaurant, and a little healthier too, because they're, you know what you're putting into them, of course. So I am going to be right back. I've got, again, my cloves of garlic, jalapenos, poblanos, and tomatillos that have been cut in half, and the paper husk taken off, and I'll be right back. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out open on those. We've got the broiler on, but they're not going to burn because we want them to burn, so we don't have to worry about running quickly. So we're going to be adding lime juice, but we're going to wait till we have everything in our bowl before we add that. And I'm going to hand chop some cilantro. So from what I understand about cilantro, people are in one of two camps. For a lot of us, it tastes delicious, which is, I'm in that camp. But for some of us, we're born with a gene. Actually, I've heard that this is a true thing. It's a thing that it tastes like soap to certain people. So the people that don't like cilantro, it's not because they're being fussy eaters or they have a bad palate. Some people are actually born with a gene that cilantro tastes like soap to them. So it's not their fault. We can't blame them for not liking it, but that's the deal with cilantro. Anyone here have the soap thing with cilantro? No? So we can go ahead and use as much as we want, right? So I actually use a lot for this particular salsa. I like cilantro, and it's because it's a green salsa, putting all green things in it. So I took the main stems. The stems do have flavor on cilantro. You don't necessarily have to toss them out. I'm just using the leafy portions because I think they're a little bit more flavorful. And I kind of just take a bunch. I'm just going to do a coarse chop because all of this is going to go into the food processor anyway, so I don't have to really get too fancy with it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that in here. There we go. And the other item that we're going to hand chop, and again, it's going to be just a coarse chop. You don't have to go nuts here with your knife skills because, do you guys have a food processor at home? You do? You don't? You do. So you could do this all by hand. What you might want to do in terms of the tomatillos and the roasted items, you could just they're going to be really soft when they come out of the oven. So you could just put them on a cutting board and chop, chop, chop by hand. They'll be easy enough to chop. It just, you know, it's a little bit easier and neater with the bowl and the food processor. But there's, you know, you can always, these things were done by hand years ago. I mean, no one had food processors back in the day, so we found a way to do it. So now we just have conveniences that take a little bit. But it's nice to kind of do things the old-fashioned way too, because it keeps your knife skills up and stuff. So.
And there is an art to cutting that onion, obviously.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna do a coarse chop.
Oh, look at you.
And here, another coarse chop, horizontal cut, and then I just follow the lines of the onion. So we can put that right in. So that's gonna go in here. Got our, I used yellow onion. You can use white onion, Spanish onion, red onion. It's what your preference is. And I got a little piece of onion peel in there. Found it. There we go. That's good. And we're going to put some lime juice in.
Now you wouldn't roast your onion?
I wouldn't roast the onion because I want the raw.
You want it?
I want it to be raw and
nice
crispy.
Oh.
Yep. I love caramelized onions, and they have a lot of uses for a lot of other recipes. When it comes to salsa, I like to keep the herbs and the onions in its raw state, and the peppers and the tomatillos in its cooked state, if that makes any sense.
It sounds wonderful.
So I got a beautiful lime here. I've got a nice little gadget I'm going to show you guys. I'll bring it out in a second. I used to think that these were like wasteful, stupid, roofy items, but this is actually really good. It's a juicer, but it, you know, it contains your seeds, and it really does extract like the maximum amount of juice from your lime. So we're gonna.
Oh my gosh!
You get a lot of juice out of that. Woo! From both directions, obviously.
And you want to know something? I would have put that lime upside down.
Chard. That's going to be our big job when we take that out of the oven, is getting the seeds out of the peppers. And you know, you don't have to be perfect with it. If you get a couple seeds in your salsa, it's not a bad thing at all. It's not like they're poisonous, or they're not going to be like unappealing texture-wise. It's just one of those things you try to get out. So we've got that going. Let me just take a look real quick on our broiler. All right, starting.
Have you guys ever made this before? No. This is so good.
Are your eyes tearing up? Yeah, that's, you know, and actually there's a couple tricks I heard that if you light a candle near where you're chopping your onion, if you have a sensitivity to it, and I wear contact lenses, it's supposed to protect your eyes, so I don't get that. If I'm cooking in the morning before I put my lenses in, my eyes burn, but contact lenses completely
Protected.
It protects them.
Oh.
So you can light a candle, it sucks up the sulfur. The sulfur is what we're responding to in the onion.
Oh.
So you light a candle, the flame sucks up the sulfur, and that's
not
it.
hitting your eyes.
Right.
Ah.
So, because it might be a little while with the broiler, why don't we go ahead and start making one of our other salsas? So, let us go ahead and start making this is the red salsa, and this is going to be the type of salsa that you are probably most used to when you are talking about, you know, the red salsa that you get in the jar, or the red salsa you get at the Mexican restaurant. It's basically tomatoes, onions, cilantro, jalapenos, and then, you know, other ingredients are always, you know, optional. Some people put garlic, some people don't. I'm using fire roasted tomatoes. Again, there's a little water in there. It's okay. So fire roasted tomatoes add another layer of flavor. You don't have to use fire roasted tomatoes, but because they've been roasted, like our tomatillos are being roasted now, they give you a little depth, a little complexity, so makes it taste like something special instead of just like a stewed tomato. So we've got that in there, and we're gonna add again some cilantro, and again, this is to taste. I probably use like roughly, gosh, 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup in my salsa. So I'm going to chop this up. What kind of salsa do you guys like? Is there any particular that you buy or that you like to eat at home?
I like it. Yeah.
Which ones?
I like
You do? Do you like spice? Do you guys like things that are spicy or have heat?
Not really.
No. So we might then just see how this tastes with the one jalapeno. We don't necessarily have to go with two, but if they're mild, you guys might find that it's actually okay. I'm going to take a little of this juice out of these tomatoes, just a little bit. Water in that, so I just want to take a little bit of that out. You don't want it too liquidy. And this is probably a little bit more than half a cup, so I may not use all of this, although I do love my cilantro.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a preference in terms of the types of onions that you use with salsa? Do you like red onions? Do you like yellow onions?
Sweet onion.
Yeah, the Vidalia, right?
Yeah, Vidalia.
Delicious. Did you ever hear of Vidalia onion pie? It's a southern specialty.
I have not.
You take Vidalia onions and you caramelize them in butter, and you lay them down in a pie crust, and it is delicious. It's a little heavenly. So here's our jalapenos. We're going to want to take out the seed and the membrane. That's where the capsicum is contained, and that's where you get your heat from your pepper. So we're going to take our large stems off. I usually do a vertical cut, and you'll see they're really easy to scrape out. Usually I do that with a paring knife, but I got this. There we go. So that's where your heat is. And so if people like more heat, they might decide to keep that in. I'm taking it out because we don't want to take our chances here in case it's way too spicy. So, and anytime you handle these types of peppers, I don't like to cook with gloves, so you will never see me wear gloves cooking. I like to touch my food. I always make sure my hands are clean, but you want to make sure you don't touch your eye after handling these types of peppers. That oil can get on your skin, and it really needs to be washed off before you try to rub your eye or any other sensitive part of your body, including your nose or mouth, because if it's a hot pepper, you can get a little bit of a burn from that. So I'm doing a very small dice on this. And, you know, we're using up this food processor for the Salsa Verde. We could have taken all this stuff, done a coarse chop, and done it in here, but we're saving some time here. And we're just doing this by hand right now. So we've got our fire roasted diced tomatoes. We've got cilantro. We've got a jalapeno. I'm going to go just with one right now and see how the heat level is. We're also going to add lime juice to this one. So put some lime in that. And believe it or not, an important ingredient in salsa is salt. If you do not put salt in your salsa, there's actually a local place near where I work. It's called Salsa Fresca. It's a chain. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's a fast, healthy, sort of along the lines of a Chipotle. Their salsas have no seasoning. There is no salt in any of their salsas, and they are very bland as a result. And their food is not terrible, but their salsa would be a lot better if they added a little seasoning. So I'm going to be right back. So I'm going to add a little bit, like a palmful, it's not really a legitimate quantity, but I'm going to say maybe a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to stir this in here. So we've got lime juice, we've got salt, we've got cilantro, we've got jalapenos, fire roasted tomatoes. I did a little bit of a crude cut on some of these items, but it makes it a little bit more rustic. I'm going to add an onion. And I think I'm going to add a red onion to this one. Cutting off the ends. This just enables us to take the peel off a little bit more easily. Take off the root end, and then you cut it in half along the line of the onion, and then you'll see the peel comes off in 2 easy chunks usually. There's one, and there's the together. So that's easy enough to take the peel off. Stubborn piece right there. And so if you guys want to come a little closer here to see how the onion is chopped. This is, you see the natural line of the onion? I'm going to go down and make some slices right where those lines are. So a piece of loose skin there, loose onion. And now I'm making a horizontal cut. I'll make 2 of those. And then I'm just going to cut down like that. So I'm getting some nice small cubes, and you're curling your fingers under on top of the onion. That way you're not going to cut your finger by accident. So if I got a couple little larger pieces, I'll just hack them, which is really not your traditional way to chop things, but it does the job. Some people would say that's not professional, but that's okay. I don't like things perfect. Those onions burning you guys again? Strong, right?
It's smelling good though.
Yeah.
We're starting to get the fragrances that are
And we'll be able to taste this before we make the chips. I do have some good store-bought chips that we can start off to take just to sample stuff, and then once we make the chips, of course, we'll use those as well. So it's funny because onions are so strong, but then when you taste them, right, they're not. You eat them in something like this, and it tastes like perfect. So we're gonna give that a stir. That looks yummy. You know, one of the things I don't like about store-made or store-bought salsas, almost all the time, if you look at the ingredients, they have sugar in them. And sweetness just doesn't work with salsa. I don't know. I think it kind of takes away from the flavors. I don't really like sugar in my salsa. And then they do the same thing with jarred spaghetti sauce. You know, I guess it's a preservative, and you know, people are addicted to sugar, so they assume if they put sugar in it that people are going to want to buy it more. So just going to clean up a little bit of my mess here. There we go. So let me give this another little stir. You can add a little bit of Mexican oregano or even regular dried oregano. I know that's not really a traditional spice that you think of when you think about a salsa, but it actually can. I actually got the idea. There's a place called Cafe Maya. You've probably been there before, right? And it's a really nice Mexican cantina up on Route 9, and their house-made salsa does have a distinct oregano flavor to it. Wow. They put some Mexican oregano in it, which is a little bit different than regular Italian or Greek oregano, but it adds a kind of a nice complexity to it. They put maybe a little bit more than I would like, because I really like to taste the cilantro. Let me get some chips out so we can see how that's going. And I'm going to take out our so just to give you guys an idea, this is what our charred tomatillos and peppers look like.
That's wonderful.
So I'm going to put that over here for right this second. We'll get back to that. So if you guys want to take a taste, and it may need some seasoning, so if you want to step up and try a little bit of chips and salsa, feel free to do that. Go ahead. Oh, of course. Here's some napkins right here.
You want to get a couple of little dishes?
Yeah, let me do that.
Let me get a little.
Yeah. Here. I want to see if this needs.
Thank you.
So I'm glad I put only one jalapeno in there because I just took a little bit of that. It is spicy.
It is spicy.
I don't think it's too spicy, but hopefully you guys are okay with the The one jalapeno I put in there.
Let me get a bigger spoon. We can scoop that up in our dishes. Be seen? Here you go. Scooper.
So I'm going to take the peppers and I'm going to put them in a paper bag. And the reason I'm doing that is to steam the skins off.
Oh, your fork. Oh. Sorry.
So I will put them in a paper bag and let them steam.
There you go.
See how you guys like that?
So you steam it in a paper
When you
bag.
make roasted peppers, so if you're even making like Italian roasted red peppers, you would char them either on your gas stove top or on a broiler. And once they're blackened, you put them in a paper bag to steam. You could do it with plastic wrap too, but paper bag works the best. And within a couple of minutes, the skins will just slide off.
Oh,
So that'll be good.
delicious.
How's the salsa?
Oh,
You like it?
mm.
Is it spicy for you guys, or is it okay?
You know what? It has a little kick, which is good. What I'm getting a kick out of is that the tomatoes from the can are very, very tasty.
They are.
In spite of the fact that it's coming from the can.
I agree.
Mm. Mm. You know, when you think about how quick that can be made.
Yeah.
So you guys are sampling our red salsa now. We've got our tomatillos that have just come out of the broiler. And now we are going to start assembling our last salsa, which is actually a black bean, a corn, and tomato salsa. The cool thing about this salsa is that, yes, it makes a really good salsa, like you're eating the red salsa now. You can dip your chip in it. But I have found that because it has the beans in it and protein, it actually makes an amazing filling for a quesadilla. So all you would need to get is like a flour tortilla, some grated pepper jack cheese or cheddar, add a layer of your black bean, corn, tomato salsa, fold it in half, and you've browned it on both sides. You have a vegetarian, not a vegan dish, but a vegetarian dish with protein, vegetables, very flavorful, delicious. You want to strain out the juices so it doesn't get soggy, but it is amazing. So, and this is like one of the easiest salsas to make because it's all canned ingredients. So, we are going to be using a can of corn, a can of black beans, and you would say, I can't believe she cooks with canned ingredients, but they're good ingredients. And so we're gonna start off with making one batch. We might make a second batch, so that way you guys have extra to take home and stuff. But basically, following the same formula in terms of seasoning. I like that jalapeno, cilantro, lime juice base is just a really good seasoning base for a lot of this stuff. So we're going to make sure with our beans that we not only drain them, but we rinse them because they come with a little bit of sludge on them. So we're going to open those, rinse those. We're going to just drain the corn. Corn has liquid in it, so you don't want that in your salsa. We're going to hand chop our onion, hand chop our cilantro, and you know, it's a little bit different than your traditional salsas, and it's more substantial. I would say it's a little healthier because you have your protein and your corn. I mean, not that corn has the most nutritional value to it, but whoop, there you go. Get out of there, corn. That's stubborn corn.
I know it is stubborn corn. I'm going to get this out of your way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'll eat them. Yeah, we'll eat them all.
So we've got drained corn, and I'm going to step out to the sink and rinse these beans out.
Thank you.
I washed my hands. I did. I washed all the dishes and my hands are sterilized.
Sue, were you able to see what the window on the phone says?
I believe it says low battery, but I'll look again.
I wonder if it unplugged.
Oh, storage.
I'll check.
Storage almost full.
that plug?
It's storage.
Oh, storage is full.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
almost full.
Okay. I have to eat some stuff. So I rinsed and drained my beans. I'm going to add them to the corn. So if you look here, it's a really pretty salsa too because it has so much color in it. You got, you know, the black beans, which are kind of almost a dark purpley color, and the bright yellow. I mean, in the summertime, to have all those colors and fresh flavors. I mean, this is such a refreshing thing to eat. And you know, I love how easy this is to throw together. Yet you're using fresh, you know, some fresh ingredients.
And I noticed you're using organic.
Some of it's organic. You know, when it's on sale, I buy organic. It's worth it sometimes. At least the only thing that organic tells you is that your product doesn't have pesticides in it, which is a good thing. These are Hotel Fire Roasted Tomatoes. They have green chilies in them. That's why I use them. I like the flavor of those mild roasted chilies. They're very delicious. So we're going to add that in there. So far we used 3 items that we didn't need to chop or do anything to. And now we're going to add more cilantro.
Love that cilantro.
So I'm getting some of my stems out of here. I have to sort through here a little bit, but and again, you can use the stem. They do have flavor in them. It's not a bad thing to use them. I've got a good handful here, so I'm going to use all of this. Making our own tortilla chips too is like you can kind of salt them, you know, just the way you want them. You don't have to add a lot of salt to them or any kind of other ingredients to them, and pretty good. Are you guys digging that salsa? It's good. Help yourselves. I mean, feel free. There's plenty of chips here and plenty of salsa for sure, and definitely send everyone home with whatever they're interested in. It's a nice batch of.
Ooh, that's yummy, huh?
Yeah, look at that, huh?
Oui.
I think I'm going to add a little bit more to the mixer for this because there's a lot there. There we go. So we're going to add another lime to this salsa because again, it's that lime, cilantro, jalapeno trinity that seems to be really
delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
It's fresh.
And that juicer definitely works.
Yeah, it's great. I don't have to worry about pits getting in there. Look at all that juice. And again, I'm going to eyeball it, but relatively about a teaspoon or so of sea salt. It seems like a lot, but it's really not. I'm going to add a jalapeno to this. We're using one, but we're taking out, again, our seed and our membrane. That's where our capsicum is. That's where our heat is. So we don't have to take all the heat with us when we use this pepper. We're getting just some of the chili flavor with the pepper. There we go. And I'm just doing little thin strips first. It's easy. Some thin strips. They call that julienne because they're matchsticks. It's one of the. So you can actually, once they're matchsticks, then it's easy to stack them up. And then you cut straight across and you end up with dice, fine dice. An easy way to do it, so you get uniform pieces. And it's nice that way because that way you're not getting one very tiny piece of jalapeno and one very big piece of jalapeno. They're all uniform and small. I'm just going to go through that again like that. And the smaller they are, the more they're going to disperse through your salsa too, so you're more likely to get a piece in your bite. So I'm going to add that in there. And I'm going to take one of these spoons and start stirring that. And I might add, I'm going to take a look at this. I'm going to see if it needs more tomato.
It is pretty, isn't it?
Look at those colors.
And you know what? That is yummy. You know, we've got quite a variety here. Everybody's sniffing like this.
We didn't add our onion to this, did we?
I don't believe we did yet, no.
I am going to use a yellow one.
Sniffling and carrying on here. I'm gonna eat mine.
No, I did use, I did, didn't I? Oh, maybe I didn't.
I don't think the onion went in.
Okay. I'm losing track. There's so many things going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Those will be ready in a second. We'll make sure we get her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that you guys are coming up for more. That makes me feel good. They like it. They really like it.
They're really good.
So.
You know what I really think is a nice thing is that this can be made, you know, an hour before, or even during the time your guests are coming in and you want to
Right.
make something quick and yummy.
And actually you'll find even like, yes, you can definitely make it right before you want to eat it, and you guys are tasting how delicious it, but also the flavors will melt too, so you know it'll be a little bit more flavorful maybe an hour from now, or if it's sat in the fridge for an hour or two.
Yeah.
So
The flavors will.
that's a strong onion. So this is a yellow onion. That is strong.
Mm. I've got a hot pepper in there.
Oh yeah?
Ooh.
I know, I'm kind of just breathing it in maybe a little. Alright, so nice and diced up. We're going to throw that in there. So, you saw how easy that was. I mean, seriously, we didn't have to do much chopping at all. Little chop on the jalapenos, cilantro, the onion. But basically, we opened up a can of diced tomatoes. We opened up a can of corn, a can of black beans. And if you guys want to come up here and give this a try.
I'm going to get some napkins for everyone.
Yup. My eyes are burning from these onions.
Can we try it?
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You all do the same thing. Slipping away. My eyes are burning. I'm just going to leave that there.
So now we're going to get back to our you can take these chips over by you too, so that way you have them right there. So I've got my roasted tomatillos here. These are going to actually go straight into the food processor. It's going to be a little messy because there's a lot of juice that comes out when you cook these. But I can pour them right out of the corner of this pan, right in here. And they're going right.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Putting my tomatillos right in there.
Oh, juice and
With
all?
the juice and all.
Ooh.
The juice is where a lot of that good flavor is. So we've got that. Now we've got our paper bag. We've had our poblanos and our jalapenos. Let me know how that is, and let me know if it needs any seasoning. I did not taste it yet, so
It looks wonderful.
Oh, I thought I lost a jalapeno. What? Gosh darnation happened. So I have my garlic. It's kind of come right out of, it's roasted. It's mushy in there, so it's going to have a really nice distinct flavor. I'm going to put that right in there. It gets sweet when it's roasted. It does not get that burnt, bitter flavor that brown garlic gets. It's a real nice, mild flavor. Don't be scared of the amount of garlic you see there. And these are our jalapenos. So because that outer skin is going to come right off. Just peels right off. I'm going to seed these too, but you'll see it more with the poblano.
Oh, look at that.
Comes right off.
Now, do you want to save that juice or no?
It's okay. It's not necessary so much with these guys, but I want to make sure I get these seeds out. So
Wow.
that whole chunk. And they become so tender when they've been roasted like this. Again, I'm not going to freak out about not getting all these seeds out because it's not going to, with the poblano pepper, the seeds don't have a lot of heat or anything we need to worry about. So we've gotten most of the skins off on these. I'm going to throw those in here. Poblano peppers have such an amazing flavor, and it's amazing when you roast a pepper, the flavor that you get, it completely intensifies the flavor, and you get a little bit of that smoky component because you've charred them. So good. And so these jalapenos, I'm going to kind of clear the seeds out of those guys and take the stem off of that. I'm just throwing, as you can see, I'm just throwing these in crudely. This is going to all get pulverized in the food processor. This is the easy part. So you do have to go through a little bit of the trouble of, broiling everything and roasting it.
But it's worth it.
But it's worth it. And this part makes it so easy. I mean, you're not having to dice too many things. We did the jalapeno and the onion. We're seeding our peppers. We're taking our skins off. That's coming right off. There we go. Sometimes it comes off easier. But it's so infused with flavor because you've charred it. It's pretty cool. Taking that stem out. And it comes apart and seems like natural segments. It's interesting. So just throw those in there. You see, we pretty much fill the processor bowl, so it's like a perfect amount for that size mixing bowl. And they get soft and really nice tender flavor. All right, there's one piece there. This is probably my favorite out of all the salsas. I mean, I like them all for different reasons, but once I started figuring out how to make this salsa, I was like, this is delicious. And actually, even hot sauces now, I'm like really getting partial to the green ones. The flavor is so good. Take a little taste of this, and I will not double dip. I just want to make sure this has seasoning. I'm going to add some salt to that. So tomatillos have a lot of tartness to them. You may sometimes want to temper the tartness. I don't usually add sugar, but it's one of the ways of counteracting a little bit of tartness. If you find your tomatillos that you've used are a little tart, I'm going to see what happens when I add the little bit of salt, because I don't think I added it to this batch, and it is necessary. You need a good amount of salt with this type of. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the sink because I used that spoon. I'm going to see. Chip and see where we're at with this green salsa. And you'll see if you look up here that it has black specks in it. It's really good. Tomatillos were warm. The salsa is a little warm right now, and typically you should eat your salsa room temperature or cold. So we'll pour a little into a ramekin for you guys to try. But isn't that a beautiful color? I mean, it's so vivid and green. It's a nice color for spring, which we're just about getting there. I'll throw this into. I'm gonna take this out. Here. Sure. Look how gorgeous that color is. It is so green, and it needs to cool down a little because it's still warm, but once it are we doing, guys?
Good.
Yeah. So do you guys want to take a taste of the green one?
Sure.
You want me to get another scooper?
I'm just gonna turn off this camera.